What's up, everybody? Today I'm sitting down with Mr. Will Davis to get his thoughts leading into his upcoming fight this Saturday, November 22nd at HRMMA 127 in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Will, how are you today?
I'm doing all right, feeling good. Just got done with weight cuts, made weight. So right now I'm headed to Bowling Green, Kentucky to check in the hotel and get ready for weigh-ins.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you joining me on this busy fight week. I know you've been training hard this camp. Before we dive into tomorrow's fight, I want to let people know a little bit about you. So, what inspired you to start fighting, and can you walk me through your journey so far, especially with your transition from amateur to pro?
Well, when I was in high school, I was a wrestler, and then after wrestling, I wanted to find a wrestling gym nearby my home. I'm originally from Illinois, East St. Louis, Illinois. Um, I couldn't find a gym, but I had an old best friend of mine that was already in the MMA and the BJJ game, and he took me to a gym called BJJ Lifestyle Academy, and then that's where I started my BJJ career. As a white belt, I competed over 120 white belt tournaments, and I placed in about half of them. And then I came to Louisville, Kentucky in 2020 to pursue my MMA career, and there I found Derby City MMA, and I started my first fight in 2020, and leading up until my last fight as an amateur in 2024, no, 2025, and now I'm pro. Um, my first pro fight. So the transitions from amateur to pro was crazy actually, because I was supposed to have an amateur fight, but my amateur fight he got injured due to I think his ankle. So the promoter last minute saying that he found somebody for me, but it had to be pro in order for me to fight. So that's my transition to turning to pro because the guy I was going against now would only fight me in the pro division. So in my pro
Do you
debut, probably like, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think that being kind of pushed into doing pro rather than kind of like dwelling on it so much helped you or hurt you in any way?
No, actually, because I was on a crust of going pro. That next fight after the guy that pulled out was an amateur fight was going to be pro. So I was already in a mindset to transition over. It was just a matter of time, either by my hand or their hand. So it didn't really hurt me. It really helped me. It motivated me to get better, get stronger, get faster, get the cardio up. It made me feel good actually. But like this fight coming up this Saturday will be the test of me turning pro. It'd be more of a competition. The guy, last guy I had was he's a good fighter and all that, but it's easy to study, easy to read. A fight coming up will be a good fight, a good showdown, and it should be a good fight.
I was going to say, this is your second professional fight. You're looking to move to 2-0. Your first fight was extremely quick, like you were saying.
Yes.
And you fought Devin Evitts before, who is your opponent tomorrow, back in a kickboxing match in 2024. You got the decision win there. Without giving away your game plan, how does it feel getting back in the ring with Devin? And this time it's an MMA and you're professional.
So, in all honesty, I wanted Devin Evan back in 2021 when we was both amateurs. Right after my bumpers fight, after I won that, I kind of put the hand out, gonna put it out in 2021 to fight him, but I guess he never took it. So, but then in 2024, he agreed not to an MMA but to a kickboxing fight, which to me that's his element. And I was an underdog on that card. People didn't believe that I was gonna reach reach to the top, so I had to prove them wrong. So me going in there being in kickboxing was a good win for me. But I always wanted MMA. So after my first win, I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, you want to run it back in MMA?" You know what I'm saying? And he agreed to it. So I'm very excited. He's walking into my element, my game. So I mean, in all honesty, my game is always the same game. Everybody knows it. Start off with that jab, stand him on the feet, get to the ground. That's me all day. I'm a purple belt in the Chewy. Been training BJJ longer than I've been fighting. I've been training BJJ since 2018. About 7 years in the game of grappling, and a lot of MMA ground and pound, and a lot of MMA. ground and pound. So I'm really excited to showcase a lot of new skills that I developed in these last two counts coming up to this fight, and I'm ready to put on a good show.
You touched on this a little bit, but you pick your shots from the outside with that jab, and then you come in and close the distance and really keep that constant pressure on. In your fights against Steven Stefano and George Nichols, was that your plan going in as well? And then how much of your fight is your opponent based, like your opponent specific, versus you just going in there and fighting your own fight?
So with the George Nichols and the Stephen Evans fight, so the George Nichols fight was a good fight. I didn't get loosened up fast enough. I got loosened up more than round two than round one. I was testing out just throwing the jab and then combination off of that. And then Nichols is just, I don't know, I guess he just didn't have the willpower in round two. He's a real good opponent. Now Steven was a more of a, it was more of a, actually it was supposed to be in ground and pound, just ground and pound. But initially, yeah, like my mind said, the game was to take him to the ground and submit him. But in all reality, if you watch the fight in like the first 30 seconds, that jab put him down and he got back up. So I realized that. I was like, nah, fuck the going to the ground. My stand up is going to be just enough for him. And he's gassing already. He didn't have the cardio to come into the ring. So when I hit that knee to the liver, it set him back about like 20%. And that's why I capitalized on it. But this fight coming up, I'm ready to display my grounding game and my takedown ability.
I think it'll be interesting to watch. I think this is a good fight coming up this weekend. You train with some seriously talented people in your gym. Talk to me a little bit about Derby City and how that environment is and how that helps shape you as a fighter.
So I've been with Derby City since 2020, man, and I came a long way to come here. My teammates is amazing. You know, I got Mike Roberts. He's a LFA vet. I got Ben Fowler, my head coach, also LFA vet. I also have Randy. He's fighting again in December, another good pro fighter. And I also have a lot of upcoming amateurs and pros that I've been training with for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and shout out my guys. We've got Eric Moore. He's coming off of an injury. He's, I believe, 3-0 or 2-0 as an amateur, coming for his next win in February. We got Eric Sanchez, making his pro debut soon. And also we have Eden. She's a 135er, the undefeated 3-0 as amateur, making her pro debut. And then that's just the MMA side. And then, shout out to Coach Josh, the boxing coach. There, got my jab as where it is today. I got a good MMA striking program, but then also I have a good BJJ program because shout out to Coach Chewy, Choose Issue, really good on the ground. So with my teammates, they put me through the work every day, 9 to 5. I be in there more times I be at home. I put my life into this. This is my life goal. I want to be a fighter. I want to make it to the top. If fans are bust about it. So my team know that. So they push me. They push me every day, push me every night, and I'm really excited and really happy that I have W City in my corner. It's coming up to this fight.
I've got to see you 3 times under HRMMA. This will be the fourth, I believe. And every time the crowd just erupts when you come out. They know you're going to put on a show, so I'm excited to see it again this time. Out of
So
all your fights, what's the toughest one you've had? And then what did you learn any lessons from that you kind of carry with you?
my toughest fight ever, my amateur career, was Graham Hunter. I lost that fight. Um, it's no excuses, but I had a bad weight cut. I had family died from home, and I couldn't come. I couldn't go home to my family that passed. Couldn't go to the funeral. So that kind of put me in a deep mindset. And then I had a bad weight cut. I had to cut like 23 pounds in 2 hours, and I didn't even make weight. We had to make it a catch weight. So my lesson from that is to never be overweight. Always have a good mindset, even when stuff goes bad, and always overcome the unbelievable. So from that fight on, I have my mindset and my willpower to overcome the difficulty being a fighter and being a human being outside in the real world. And then since that fight, I had a little bumps in the road of losing, um, but I had some good winning streaks. Um, but after that fight, I knew who I am, and I understood where I need to be to become who I am today.
Awesome. Speaking of, you had a bad weight cut in that fight. I know you made weight today. How was your camp and the weight cut this time?
Fuck, man. To be honest, the camp was amazing. Cardio was like A1 right now, man. My cardio is feeling better than my last fight. Um, the weight cut sucks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like this, like my 14th fight. The weight game never get old, but making 55 was a little bit of a challenge for me today because I got the fight I think like a month notice, like about a month notice, and I had to grind to get down to the weight. And then also I had a lot of activities. My daughter's birthday coming up and all events, so it's hard to dip or dab. But making weight is never the issue no more. It's just the mindset over matter, man. You got to push it. You got to make sure that you're in the ground because in my mindset, I'm doing 100% when my opponent not doing nothing at all. When my opponent he just got recently married on a honeymoon. I'm in the gym going hard day in and day out, early in the morning, late nights. So the sauna, the cut is always going to be bad in my mind because who don't like cutting weight? You know, cutting weight is just evil. But it makes the fighters. You know, it tells you who can be a fighter, who cannot be a fighter, and knowing that me and him both on weight, that's one less thing we got to worry about. Rehydration is going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. But I'm just ready to get back in the cage tomorrow night and show everybody who's famous Will.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. And I got one last question for you. Do you have a walkout song picked out for tomorrow? What are you coming out to?
I always go out to my favorite song, Little Dirt, Green Light. That song stuck to me ever since my debut. It's just a great song. It get me motivated, and it's just like how it comes out. You know, it's just like get this boy this message. I can't wait till four of them catch him. They calling him a rapper, but I'm gonna be one to stretch him. So that basically telling me like I got a green light to go do what I do, and I love this sport, man. I could do a lot of things in this cage and don't get arrested for it. So I feel like I can be the best I can be a little dangerous. When I'm in a cage, I'm not just Will Davis no more. I'm the famous Will, and the famous Will don't play. He get the job done, and I put on the show, win or lose. I let the world know who I am. So I'm really, really excited to go against Devin Evans because I know he's gonna bring the heat, and I'm stepping into my element. And we're not in 10 ounces; we in 4 ounces gloves. So my punch is gonna be heavier, my speed's gonna be faster. So I'm just hoping and praying he can catch up because whatever he's bringing, I'm gonna bring it twice.
Well, Will, thank you so much for coming on. I cannot wait to come watch your fight tomorrow. I appreciate you making your time during this busy fight week to come talk to me. Before I go, is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching?
Yeah, I want to give a couple shout outs to my sponsors. Top Mount Apparel. It's an organization out of Illinois that has the best clothing line for MMA, BJJ. You can go follow them on Facebook, Instagram at topmountapparel.com or just Top Mount. You can go to their website at www.topmountapparel.com. Get the best gear, real good gear tonight. Tomorrow night. I'll be wearing their fight shorts. That's available also online. I'm have a shout out to a lot of sponsors. Jimmy John's on 4919 Brownsboro Road in Louisville, Kentucky. Best Jimmy John's around. Fast service, clean atmosphere. Go get your Jimmy John's, and a lot more others I will put out soon. And I'm just looking forward to this fight. This is for my family, for my friends back at home in Illinois, as well as in Kentucky. And I'm coming to enemy territory once again, but it's home ground. But Bowling Green's my hometown. I've never lost in Bowling Green, and I'm going to keep that winning streak going. So I'll see them tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, guys. Well, make sure you go get your tickets for HRMMA 127 this weekend in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and come out and support great guys like Will and an incredible card. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, brother. Thank you.